all your school rugby, all in one place. This is NextGenXV.
Alright guys, welcome to NextGen15, and in today's video we are going to be looking at which schools have the most representation in this year's Currie Cup competition. If you are new to our channel, please don't forget to click that subscribe button as well as bell notification, and as soon as new videos are released, you'll be the first to know. There will be a link in the description down below for a full list of all players and their schools, as well as the full list which contains numerous schools. Just look in the description below and we'll also put it to the comment section below. So let's get into the top 10. In 10th place we have Queen's College from Queenstown. They currently have seven players in this year's Currie Cup competition. Amongst them are Lionel Cronier, you guys might remember him from the EP Kings. Yao Pengse, who's recently been named to the Springbok squad, I believe, or the greatest Springbok squad. He was involved in the green and gold competition matchup, which he was absolutely fantastic in, high value player. And then Reagan Oranje, of course, a young gun, young scrum half that's definitely got a very bright future in the game, many feel. So tied with Queens in 10th place. Next we have Waterkloof Nelspruit, and Nelspruit have been producing quality teams and quality players over many years. Definitely a dark horse outfit, especially this year. In terms of the pro players, 7 players as mentioned, equal to Queens. Van Kok, obviously a former Springbok 7-star, being one of them. Manus van der Merwe from the Cheetahs, highly rated young player. And then of course Delville Maritz, who had a standout couple of performances for the Pumas of late. In 8th place we have Selborne College from East London. Some examples of some players: Kwesi Mono from the Sharks, David Kutzer recently starred in the Varsity Cup for Tuks as they won the competition, and of course Sango Klamlashe, who also was very dominant in the Varsity Cup with Tuks, captained them, lifted the trophy and got rewarded with a call up to the senior squad. Obviously a highly rated player as well. And then tied with them is Grey High School, their regional Eastern Cape rivals, with 8 players as well. Amongst them Junior Pokomela. Many feel this guy's definitely a future Springbok. It's hard to believe that he's still a relative youngster, although he's been part of the senior setup for quite some time with the Cheetahs. Jeremy Ward, arguably one of the most underrated players at the Sharks currently. One feels that if he was at a tier 2 nation, so to speak, he definitely would have been in the international reckoning. Highly rated player in the structures. Who knows, still might get his chance eventually. And of course Sergio Peterson has got a cap for the Springboks. Highly rated player, very quick, and another player that's been part of the senior mix from a young age. Moving on, 7th place we have Glenwood in Durban, and Glenwood have produced again some outstanding teams in the last couple of years, Sanex winners, and continue to bless us with a lot of talent. Amongst the Currie Cup players that they've produced for this year, Jaden Hendrickse, who, I mean, a lot of you would have heard of him. We've spoken about him a lot on this channel, arguably the best under 21 scrum half in the world. We have to mention his brother Jordan as well, playing flower for the Lions. He was definitely a highly rated prospect at school, don't get us wrong, but I think he's just taken the opportunity with both hands. He's developed a hell of a lot quicker than any one of us would at this stage, and has been absolutely outstanding. And then JJ van der Merwe, absolute monster at lock, just counting the days essentially until he gets that first Springbok cap. One definitely feels he's very close. You just can't beat the physicality. And I believe that Jaden and JJ actually did play at first team level together at school. Jordan is obviously a year younger than Jaden. Moving on, we got another tie for 5th place, 14 players, Paarl Gym. Stravino Jacobs been an example, and I mean, this guy only left school a couple of years ago. He's already a Currie Cup winner, a regular for the Bulls, highly rated, and another guy that you just know, it's not a case of like if he'll become a Springbok, but it's just when he'll become a Springbok. JD Schicklin, another case of that, outstanding lock, outstanding player. One feels that his time will come very soon. And then Zach Berger. Zach's made some very good decisions as a rugby player. He had all sorts of unions after him, and then he decided to go to the Griekwoods, where he'll definitely get a start. And he's taken that opportunity with both hands, had some outstanding performances for Griekwoods, and then got his contract at the Sharks, bided his time, at the Bulls, bided his time, and now you got no doubt that he's definitely on the cusp of becoming like the number one prospect over there, a starter basically. And his brothers over there as well as Andre, who I've rated for a very long time. I think he's an extremely underrated player. Love that left boot of his, and who knows, one day we might have a outstanding burger halfback pairing. Tied with them, Affies with 14 players as well. Laurits van der Schuyf, the big centre, another Varsity Cup winner. Just an absolute monster at centre, very, very hard to stop, very strong. Defensively sound, so definitely can't wait to see him in action this year. Ruben van Heerden at the Sharks, very much an underrated player. I think he's been absolutely outstanding for the Sharks. He's been somewhat of a stalwart over the last couple of years, and just obviously there's a lot of competition at Springbok level for lock, but you don't really see this guy being too far away from that. And then Skalk Erasmus, very powerful front ranker. Another player that's very highly rated within the youth structures of South African rugby when he was younger, and someone that's definitely going through the structures very nicely right now, and who knows what we might see him achieve in the future. But if his youth career is anything to go by, you definitely think there's big things coming for him. And then fourth place with 16 players, we've got Paul Roos, Edwin van der Merwe, outstanding player, represented Marties with distinction, absolute try-scoring machine, very, very good athlete. Dan du Plessis, got the du Plessis lineage behind him, obviously, you can't get better rugby genetics than that. Very much a star player at school level as well. And someone that's been part of the Western Province / Stormers mix for quite some time, and very highly rated in the structures there. And then Andre Jacobs, playing at the Sharks currently, arguably one of the strongest scrummages I've ever seen at schoolboy level. You take a look at other props that have done a lot of ball carrying, got some really highlight reel worthy moments, so to speak. Hanro is a player that's just he's on another level in terms of being a prop, and I think he has to be given more game time, especially when you take a look at our youth level and some of the troubles that we've been having with scrum. You've got to feel someone like Hanro is definitely going to be a stalwart in the future, and has to be given his opportunity at the Sharks. Otherwise, might have to look at greener pastures, so to speak. Then we've got a tie for second place, Paarl Boys with 17 players. Amongst them, we have Franco Horn, who's just been named captain for the Lions. One of the best number 8s I've ever seen at schoolboy level. Part of a very successful Paarl Boys team, never tasted defeat as a Paarl Boys player. And one feels exceptionally bright future in the game as well. Obviously a lot of competition in his position. There's a lot of outstanding young talent out there, but this guy plays his heart out. Absolutely outstanding talent. Evan Rus, another number 8. Now, he was at the Sharks before, just recently moved to Western Province. He's been absolutely outstanding at Western Province, playing to the level we knew he was always capable of playing. And he's someone that I'm don't even need to debate. I'm 100% confident everyone's going to become a Springbok one day. And, a good guy, down to earth, focusing on his rugby, but not letting the attention get to his head too much. Just an outstanding rugby player, outstanding human being. And he's going to be just an exceptional Springbok one day. So, it's not even a question of wondering when he's going to become a Springbok, in my opinion. It's going to happen. He's destined for it, in my opinion. And then last one, Abner van Renen. Abner moved from Gasfontein to Paarl Boys, I believe, in 2017. There's a bit of controversy behind that move. But he played the flower for distinction in another unbeaten campaign for Paarl Boys. Some might have wondered what was happening with him after school. It seemed like he disappeared for quite a while. But then there was a couple of injuries for the Stormers and for Western Province, and he finally got his opportunity, and he took it with both hands. He's put in some really outstanding performances, and there's a lot of competition at the flower of birth at Western Province right now. But Abner's almost made the jersey his own. and I think he's definitely going to have a big Currie Cup potentially. And tied with Paarl Boys at second, we have Monument, a school that's just given so much to the Lions region specifically, with some outstanding players, and obviously given a lot to Springbok rugby as well. Amongst the players, Willem Albert's obviously a Springbok stalwart, in his late 30s, still playing the game, still tackling players like hell, breaking bones. Stan knew him as a bone collector, for a while, and he just is like a fine wine, just keeps getting better with each passing year. Then Ruan Dreyer, one of the most powerful and underrated scrummagers in the country, one feels. Definitely going to be looking to have a big Currie Cup from him. And then Nathan Macbeth, someone that is extremely highly rated at school, and for good reason. For front rankers especially, they have a bit more longevity in terms of their age, but to get started is quite tough. I mean, you've got a lot of hard men in front of you. But you've got a feeling that Nathan is on the cusp. He'll be given his opportunity this year, and if he takes it with both hands based on his talent, there's no telling where he could end up. And then finally, no prizes for guessing who's number one. It's the age-old situation. Great college, 31 players, quite comfortably the leading producer of Currie Cup players this season. Too many to mention, obviously, so that's why we mentioned only 3 with each school. Amongst them, Evia Fulun, one of the most exciting backline players, utility player, but probably hasn't found his number one position yet. But just the ideal squad player and the ideal team man. Then Ruan Pena, who's essentially a legend in terms of his playing ability, made his debut first year out of school and hasn't turned back since. And another player that's like a fine wine, just seems to be getting better with each passing year. And then finally Richard Creel, this is one of the guys I'm most excited to see in the Currie Cup this year. I just think there's so much talent within him, and he's just a combination of so many different fullbacks to me. I see Andre Joubert in him, I see Percy Montgomery in him. His rugby IQ is outstanding, his defence is outstanding, handling, there's just hardly a weakness in his game, and I think he's a real dark horse. And I think given the opportunity, he's just going to absolutely blow everyone away. I really do believe Richard's 2 to 3 years away from becoming a Springbok potentially. I really, really rate this guy. I can't speak highly enough of him. And let's hope this is his year, because the faster he develops, the faster we can get him in that green and gold jersey. And fullback, to me personally, I think is a problem position at the Springboks right now. And Richard can become that long-term custodian of the jersey. So that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for taking the time to watch this. Obviously, tough times now because of the COOF situation and rugby being cancelled. So expect a lot more top 10s and lists like that. We're always trying to figure out some content to bring you guys. We thought this would only be happening in 2020, but 2021 looks like to be the same situation. So any ideas that you guys have for videos, leave a comment down below, and that'll be helping us out a lot, because we really, really, really are looking hard for content. Have a fantastic week further. Cheers. Bye.